What shows up on a background check? In this video, we're going to look at some of the essential things that might show up on a background check. So it will depend on what the background check is for. I'm going to do as good of a job as I can without knowing specifically what it's for to go over some of the basics at least. I'm going to go ahead and pick the state of Maryland for this example. If you come down to sheriffsdepartment.net, you'll have access to all 50 states of official resources you have available at the state and county level. So some of the more essential things when it comes to background checks would be court records, recorder's office, criminal records, driving records, business lookup, license verification, incarceration, prison records, sexual offender registry. At the county level, you can also do property record search, and this could be useful for verifying mailing addresses, things like that. You have jail records also that can be checked at the county level, and court records. So what shows up on the background check are, if you look at just the public records, probably the most sought after would be criminal records. And so pretty much every state will give you some options to do at least a background check within the state, and it will depend what it's for. Sometimes it's as simple as a name check and they'll charge you a small fee for it. Sometimes it's more complicated and might require fingerprinting, and it might require special forms to be filled out. So it just depends, and this will look specifically for criminal records. You also have court records, and court records will show all sorts of things, anything from criminal records. So anytime somebody gets arrested, they have to go see a judge. That creates a court record. Those are considered public records, and so public has access to these records. You also have civil records. So depending on what the background check is for, things like family matters, evictions, you could have lawsuits, financial things could show up. If anybody's actually researching court records when it comes to background checks, traffic violations, things like that. So all of these things are probably the most sought after when it comes to background checks. It depends, again, what it's for. If you're just running a background check on a date or a neighbor, these would be probably things you look at and maybe even leave it at that. Maybe check the sexual offender registry, like prison records, jail records, things like that. If it's more for reasons like, say, like a job or a financial deal of some sort, somebody might actually get on the phone and make phone calls and verify references. They might check with schools to make sure everything is legit. They might check with the state if nursing licenses need to be verified, or teaching licenses, things like that. So it all depends on what the background check is for. If you come down to Sheriff's Department, you'll have access to the local resources in all 50 states where you can do a background check and see what actually might show up. When you type a name into some of these databases, our website covers gives you resources, anything from background checks to warrants, vital records. So it's loaded with lots of helpful information. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description. You can also just type sheriffsdepartment.net in your browser and come on down and see if we can be of any help.